Hello and welcome to session 3 of Apocalypse World. We are coming in just after a fiasco, both in the game and in my handling of the military situation there. But I'm getting more used to that. We're going to come in and talk about where we are with that in just a second. This is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. And you can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. If you're streaming this tomorrow or the next day, which would be Thursday or Friday, we've got GauntletCon coming up this weekend with lots of amazing games going on there, and people who are doing an amazing job managing it, like unbelievably good job. And so I'm super excited on that. We're playing Apocalypse World, second edition by D. Vincent and McGay Baker. And this is the grand mommy of all Powered by the Apocalypse games. And we are playing out this particular story, and we'll come to our characters in just a second. We are using standard safety tools. We have the X card on the table, just as a reminder that we use that. Can be done verbally or by gesture or message. But then we also have lines and veils on the table. We have as hard lines, we have sexual assault, torture, and childhood abandonment. And then veils, things that will fade to black on, are harm to children and eye injuries. So now let me give you my recollection of the last session. And then any of you can fill in where you think I may have missed something. So this last session, there was sort of follow-up to try to find out who was messing with Harrow and who had put some shots into Jackbird's bar. There's been clearly some attempts at disruption. Harrow had lost some people before, and then there were these series of attacks. We saw briefly Nuzzle go back to where he hangs his head and have some conversations trying to work out his relationship with Snow there a little bit. We saw Jackbird kind of following up, trying to figure out what was going on, spoke with Harrow, put some pressures there. And eventually we saw Bleak get grabbed up by a local biker gang led by Crow. Crow took Bleak back and made Bleak take care of a guy in an odd uniform who seemed to be babbling about some things, including somebody named Igneous. When Bleak returned, there were some things that had occurred there. Our other character, Skipper, got in some trouble with some of Crow's people, and there was some back and forth about that at at Jackbird's bar at the Mud Pit. Eventually, there was a conversation in which Bleak revealed about this stranger that Bleak had patched up, and the group decided to go to Crow's location, grab this stranger and get him out. Things did not go quite as smoothly as they hoped. And they did take just a little bit of harm. Nuzzle has a little bit of harm on them right now, but not too terribly bad. If Skipper were here, we'd be worrying about that. But for the moment, we were going to move him off stage. But eventually, the group was able to grab said person and bring them back here in relative safety. One other point I should mention, the Igneous fellow, that's one of the names that this guy mentioned, but Igneous is also a person who showed up at the Mud Pit a few nights ago and did extremely well in the pit fighting. And so Jackbird's also wondering if this guy is going to come back and maybe she can lay hands on him at that point. So there are a few balls that are in the air right now. Another standing question is where Gams lies in all of these issues there. Before we go too much further, though, we probably need to do the highlighting of stats. So let's start with that. Nuzzle, tell me who has the highest relationship with you right now?
Let me pull that up.
HX.
Yeah. Well, this actually gets solved pretty easily. It was down to 2, but now it's down to 1. So Jackbird.
Jackbird. Jackbird, would you please highlight a stat for Nuzzle?
Let's say hot.
Okay. And I always like going parallel to that, so I'll say cool.
Great. Okay. Sorry, a sigh of relief because now I'm finally doing something that isn't hot and sharp.
Okay. And then Bleak, who has the highest HX with you?
Nuzzle and Jackbird are both at 3, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Then you get to pick.
Let's go Jackbird.
Okay. Jackbird, please highlight one of Bleak's stats.
Say cool.
Okay. And let's be generous and put sharp as the other one there. I thought about weird, but you've had such bad experiences laying hands on people. And then Jackbird, what about you? Who has the highest HX for you?
That would be Nuzzle.
Nuzzle, if you would please highlight one of Jackbird's stats.
Yeah. Gonna go hot.
Let me think here then. Oh, let's go sharp. So we take up, I think we can reasonably, do a quick pass wipe and find us in the back room of the mud pit. Does that seem fair? Like a place, or would Jackbird, would you go somewhere else with this person?
No, I think I would take them back to the mud pit.
Okay. So tell me, what is your back room office look like? What's stacked up in there?
There are a lot of bottles. I mean, that's where I tend to keep the moonshine that I brew, and like there are a couple of boxes full of like the raw materials for the moonshine, some roots or whatever it is that I throw into this stuff. And I mean, I've got a desk. I've got a chair. There's like this old sofa that I sometimes sleep on.
There's a distinct odor in here because you're still got hit, and they've had to kind of patch it back, and that's why I had to go to Harrow to get some supplies while this has gotten repaired, and so you're back there. Let's say that this guy is on the couch, and Nuzzle, you're just at harm 6 o'clock, right?
That is correct.
So you're 2 levels up. What do you think that looks like?
I think at first it doesn't look like anything obvious. I think I've covered myself pretty well in clothing, but I think that when I get a moment, I think it's kind of like you know how in the movies when people are like hiding weapons all over them and then like they keep pulling out weapons from who knows where. It's like that but with armor. And it's just like I'm like trying to pull out, like there are some things where it's like the armor covers almost everywhere, but then there are places where you can clearly see that I was either bruised or like really like I think, you know, I've got a few grazes here and there, but I think a lot of it is just that I went straight into harm's way and a lot of those like not just bounced off of me, but like the shock of it like actually like left a dent. So I'm gonna have to like it, you know, just it is painful.
Okay.
In a way that like I didn't have time to process exactly before.
That makes sense to me. And Bleak, let me ask you this. I have the sense that you've been on the battlefield before, right? Certainly, you've got that battlefield grace and some of your outfit. What was that like, and how did it compare to what you just went through?
Well, I previously worked with a warlord, so it was very similar to, you know, usually even more shooting, but you know, not too dissimilar from that.
So what are you doing right now? Are you checking this guy out? Are you checking on Nuzzle? Are you looking for a drink? What is it you're up to?
If Nuzzle will let me, I'll check him out.
Yeah, at this point, Nuzzle isn't going to. I don't think Nuzzle's necessarily going to be like, "Please help me," but he's not at all going to stop Bleak from trying to help.
Okay. So.
And let's see now. What is? I assume you're not doing the healing touch, correct?
No.
Okay. Do you want to use your stock to help?
Sure. He's at 6, right?
Yeah.
So 3 or 6 don't roll. They choose. They spend 4 days, or they spend a week blissed out on chill stabs, immobile but happy, or else they do their time in agony like everyone else.
Oh man. I mean, I'm needed. I don't think I can be. I don't think I have time to be blissed out on anything. So I'll suffer. But you know, if that's what it takes to, you know, get the harm away, I'll just suffer through the pain.
Yeah. I think it's reasonable that you are suffering through that. And I believe that you get Bleak. If you're healing 2 segments, you're going to get HX +2 with Nuzzle.
Oh, okay. So that would push it over +3. So doesn't it
So
like
you'd
reset or
hit
something?
4, and then would reset to 0, and then go up to 1. Or is it reset up to? What does it reset to?
It resets to 1, and then it would go up to 2.
Okay.
It only resets to 0 if you get down to -4.
Oh, that's right. Thank you.
Yeah.
And when that happens, Rich did this differently, so I'm trying to remember. Is it that you mark XP when it resets, Peter?
Yes.
Okay. Rich did as asking a question.
When interesting.
Did it. Yeah.
I suppose that's also like probably something you can do, and probably something that exists. I've always known it as, "Congrats, you get an XP for knowing them better. Here's another layer."
So the right now, Jackbridge people are kind of coming back and forth, you know, cleaning up. It's probably getting on dawn by this point. So I assume you want to wait for this guy to come to.
Yeah, he can probably answer questions better when he's awake.
Okay. Then it doesn't take that long. He mostly had an injured leg, and Bleak had already taken care of that, there. But he will kind of come out of the haze of meds that he's on, and he looks around, and he's kind of focusing and realizing that he's on a very different surface than he was before, and you can see him look around, and doesn't take in Jackbird, you or Nuzzle that much, but his eyes kind of come to Bleak, and he's like, "Well, what's going on?"
We got you out of there. We need you know something about our friend's caravan was attacked, and about what's happening in town, and Jackbird's place is attacked. We want to know what it is.
Seem kind of stop, and he does that thing where he's clearly like had some training. He's clearly not soft, but you see he looks around. He sees Jackbird. He sees the environment around him. Sees Nuzzle. Sees the blood on Nuzzle, and he'll say, "I don't know exactly why Igneous and Gams mostly, it's mostly Gams, wanted the stuff from that Nomad transit, but we hit it about a week ago."
You work for GAMS?
The person I work for works for Gams.
Igneous?
See, the right answer to that question was not anymore. You got that?
Oh, well, I think I take that as a given that I'm here and a bullet can be put in my head at any particular time. And
I'm just making sure we understand each other.
no, believe me, I feel exactly where you're coming from there. Gams partnered with our boss, Igneous and I's boss, Asus.
Is that a name we've heard before? Asus?
No, it isn't.
Okay, but I've got a special move for when I want to know something about someone important.
Sure.
So let's go. That's an 11. So I get 3 questions about Asus. What is up with them?
So I think one of the things that you realize here is that you haven't heard of an Asus, and this guy is lying.
Okay. Well, I think I think that obviates my other two questions.
Well, we're going to say that those are held for when you actually convince him to give up the correct answer.
Yeah. Okay, so it's like I pull a knife and I step over to him and hold it at his throat and say, "See, I haven't heard of ASIS, and if someone were involved, I would have heard of them. You want to try again?"
He takes a look over at you, Bleak, to see what you're doing.
I'm just kind of stepping back because.
All right. He hears Doc says you're going to die, kind of in the back of his head there, and he says, "Look, Rothball's partnered up with Gams. He found something, and he and Gams have worked out some trades on it.
Can we be more specific than something?
I don't know, but Igneous didn't used to be as strong or as fast as he is now. And Rothball's got his people here in town, and then he's got some people out in another compound. And he's had us on the down low doing stuff. He had us hit the Nomad Caravan with assistance from Gams.
Okay. All right, so my question's transferred to Rothball's now.
Yeah.
How can I get to Rothball's physically or emotionally?
Well, physically, he has his church. He's got several segments of that here in town. And while he probably isn't there, given what this guy's saying, there are a number of his congregation who are here. And that's certainly a means to that. Does that seem like a fair answer?
Yeah. And so when should I expect to see them next?
Well, he's probably thinks that that Igneous is how do I put this? He's probably sending Igneous here to kind of try and work Igneous into your ranks. So eventually Igneous has to go back and report to him. So that's probably, when he'll pop up is on that particular line. Does that seem like a fair answer?
Sure.
And do you have one more hold?
No, that was the third.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll move the knife away from his throat. Yeah, that checks.
Now, so let me ask you. I know what Jackbird's relationship is to Rothball. Rothball's the one who essentially a few years ago sold Jackbird this building and then moved his congregation, this sort of weird religious hardholder congregation, spread them out. They've been out scouring the land, doing pilgrimages and things like that. What's been your interaction with either Rothball or his people? his flock.
I think I ran with Rolf Ball before he settled down into his heart holder position. I think in my younger days, I was just. I liked the idea of having something to sort of ardently fight for. And then I realized, well, that was bullshit. So he, started spreading and I left. We'll say peacefully, but keep in mind that when I say peacefully, I mean PIECE fully.
Yeah. And I imagine you still get dirty looks from older members of his flock that are around town, but they've stayed out of your way.
Yeah, they're certainly not loving looks, but I'm not used to seeing those anyways, and I'd be more shocked if I did.
And he says, I'll tell you that one of the things they wanted from the Nomad Caravan is they had some people with them that they wanted.
Who?
I don't know. They were weird. A couple of kids, a couple of adults. We really couldn't get a word out of them. But it felt off. I don't know why they were at the caravan. Didn't seem like they were prisoners or anything of the caravan. Maybe more like the caravan was taking care of them. So what about me?
You want to live, I take it.
I had that in mind. And right now, Rothball's probably looking for me, and Crow's probably looking for me.
You plan on going back to either of them of your own volition?
Well, the right answer is no.
What's your answer?
Right now, my leg is broken. I'm not going anywhere. So I'll keep my trap shut and try and earn my keep until maybe we can come to an arrangement and I can move on. But I understand that I am fully at your mercy right now.
I think I'll walk over to him at this point and get up real close.
Oh, do.
You may as well do what you're saying. At this point, I don't have any reason not to believe you, but I will have both eyes on you if you make a different decision. You can make whatever decision you deem appropriate, but let me tell you, got my own ideas of how things should work, and just don't get on my bad side.
I understand.
Good. Very good.
And Jackbird, if you want, one of your people can move this guy into another more secure, like, storeroom. You're muted.
Yeah, and we'll find some sweeping or something for him to do to earn his keep while he's here.
Okay.
And we don't want him talking too much. We don't want him too visible, but
So this kind of gives us to a break. We have a chance to talk, and it does bring me to the key question here as we move on to another day in the life of our characters. Are you keeping up your lifestyle?
right. Well, Jackbird has the establishment, so they don't have to spend anything.
Exactly. Nuzzle?
Just to clarify, we didn't get any barter from the previous thing, right?
No.
Okay. One barter from me.
Okay.
I'm not living as well as I did last time, but
Yeah.
I'm not going down the drain.
Got fresh veg and a little booze and things. Had nice meals there. A little comfort.
It was nice, but like many things in the apocalypse, things went to shit.
Bleak?
I only got one barter, and I think I'm going to need it for stock. So what happens when you use no barter?
Okay. So when you don't use that, then we ask if somebody is helping you out, I believe, at that point. Let me get to that lifestyle. Yes. If you pay 0 barter, we basically ask who's going to pay a barter to keep Bleak alive.
I wish I could, but I also have only one barter left.
Yeah, I gave all my barter to Harrow, so
you're gonna have to figure out, food is tight, water is tight, Bleak. You're gonna have to figure out who you're gonna go and again scavenge off of. Rothball's clearly looking for some people now that he's lost some folks.
I was
Maybe
thinking
Harrow help you out.
Yeah, I was thinking Harrow because I know she's hurting pretty bad and could probably use some help doing something.
So let's cut to that. Essentially, the three of you break up to grab some shut eye and maybe meet back later or however you plan to do that. Bleak, you head over to Harrow's place there, and you will get there and you see her doorman, who we established last time, the tall guy with the leg braces, will see you, and regardless of anything else, people take the doc seriously, and so he will go and announce you, and after a little bit, you're brought in, and Harrow goes, "Bleak, what a pleasant surprise."
Glad to hear it. I just wanted to see, I knew you had some issues. I just wanted to, make sure everybody was doing okay after the unfortunate events that happened recently.
Oh, we're doing fine. We're doing fine. Is this something you need?
I am looking for a place to stay, and I thought maybe since I helped out your guys after that attack that you might be, a little bit on the giving side and want to keep that relationship going.
I'm struck by a thing. I'm struck by the fact that I've asked you a couple of times to settle down and come and work for me. Hang a shingle, set up a shop, not go wandering around, stay here. help my boys out. But each time you've said something about some bullshit about freedom and things like that. And
Yeah, it's really intriguing, Harrow, and I would absolutely love to, but there are just so many people that I can't restrict my services to just one person. I gotta travel around and help all the people, because I'm a giving person, is who I am.
well, it just so happens that I do have a need for your services. And if you're willing to pull out your gear and your know-how and do it, I'll be willing to pay you for the gig.
I could do that.
Good. Do you know my messenger, Clausen? He drives the bike around from encampment to encampment, carries my words,
I
speeds
think
around.
I've seen him. Yeah.
Yeah. He's on his bike a lot.
Uh-huh.
He's got a condition, an inflamed condition. And I've been told reliably that it involves that surgical procedure might assist him with that.
It could.
You take care of him, and I'll give you a couple of barter.
That would work.
Okay.
Let's see if I can do that.
Yeah. And why don't you tell me what the worst part of working on Clausen is, Bleak? We're not going to play it out, certainly.
Yeah.
But what is the worst part of this, especially given the environment and the conditions and so on?
Yeah, he's got some really pussy back knee, like down in the lower part.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
It's almost like bed sores. You get a sense that maybe he sleeps on his bike.
So working in that area, like it's oozing and there's that, slightly rotted smell and yeah.
Yeah, and he also talks the whole time until you knock him out. Like he clearly doesn't spend time around people, so he just keeps talking the whole time. But yeah, you get that done. You swab it clean. You get the packs put on there, and everyone around is kind of making a face because they've been smelling this guy for a couple of days, and they're relieved to have this taken care of. And Harrow will drop you a handful of jingle.
Thank you so much.
Not at all.
And I'll
look. This is gonna keep happening, Bleak. You're gonna run low, gonna come back here. I'm just saying. There is a lot to be said for stability.
I'll take that into consideration, Harrow.
Okay. I will see you later, doll.
Thank you.
Nuzzle, what are you up to? When they kind of have a breakout and you have to, take care of business. What do you want to do? Hit the streets, rest, work a gig? You're in a lot of pain right now.
Yeah, I was thinking like initially work a gig of some kind, but with that pain, I think I'm gonna try and rest and hope that I don't get, I don't make things worse. I'm trying to remember. There was someone. It might be too soon. There was someone from last session, an NPC, that I ended up pissing off at the mud pit because of how I acted around.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was in fact one of I think it was it Lamprey?
I think so. That sounds right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who was like not cool with the
Yeah.
way you handled things.
Yeah. And I, quote unquote, didn't let it get to me. This is me going, I let a little get to me.
Okay.
I'm a weird battle babe. I think that I think I'm gonna find out what Lamprey's up to.
Lamprey's cleaning up and probably getting ready to set things up for the show tonight, the Mud Pit. Jackbird's warned him there might be more shit going down. Probably, probably you can catch him outside of the Mud Pit. When he goes off to get noodles for lunch or whatnot.
Yeah, I'll try and catch him then. I think if I catch him in the work setting, it's gonna just be like, hey, remember that thing I did earlier?
Yeah, and he goes gets noodles. Essentially, it's noodles with bad cheese and some herbs on it. Big platter of that. He sees you coming.
I think I just kind of throw my hands up in sort of like a I am not here to fight or argue or anything sort of way. The noodles any good?
The noodles, they're always good.
I don't know. I don't usually grab them. Look, I wasn't trying to. No, fuck it. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to antagonize them. Like, I know the whole mud pit situation is nobody starts fights unless they're in the pit, and then it's the whole, whatever you guys do down there is your own business. I don't participate. It's not really my whole thing. But they were gonna go after Skipper. They still might have, and I just wanted to. I don't know. I wanted to rub it in their faces that they couldn't get to someone who actually was a decent person. There aren't a lot of decent people around left.
So these guys were going to have to go after Skipper, and they had cooled down, and you riled them back up. And that did what to your mind?
That is the order of events. And as for what it did for my mind, jack shit. That's why I'm here.
See, here's the thing. He kind of leans back. He says, Mud Pit's where I live. I got a place to live. I got friends. I take care of them. I watch over them. I have loyalty to them. I try to make sure that shit doesn't go off. You just want things to go off.
I mean, what's fucking wrong with things going off once in a while?
You picked your life.
Look, I didn't come here to argue about our different lives. I came here to just say we're going to have to coexist somehow.
Is that what passes for an apology, or what are we doing here? Are you saying that I should get out of your way? Because I'm trying to read you. I'm not sure what I should say here.
Well, that's such a great suggestion. I'm going to read him.
Okay.
I'm going to read a charged person. Read a person.
Okay. Yeah. Let's have you roll with sharp.
Yeah. This is the first time in a while that okay. And it is there. Urgently better Malamute. Let's go. All right. That is a 9.
It's a 9. So what is your question?
Questions. What does your character wish I'd do?
Stay away from Jackbird. He thinks you're a bad influence. Thinks the fact that Jackbird's going out and putting herself in danger is your fault, and that that you're just going to get people killed.
I think for the first time, this whole conversation, I actually kind of relaxed once I realized that. Because it's just like, oh, okay. Lamprey, I want to be really fucking clear. Whether or not I'm around, Jackbird is still going to do the same shit Jackbird's going to do. You spend more time with her, you know that better than me. If anything, because I'm around, people around me are actually going to survive. Yeah, some are going to die too. They're not going to be mine. I don't make your boss's decisions, and I certainly have little influence over them. You can think whatever you want. I'm not going anywhere for a while. But it would be a lot easier to keep other people alive if we had some sort of agreement.
Okay, how about this for an agreement? Don't antagonize people in the mud pit anymore.
Yeah, I was getting to that. I wasn't going to do that anymore.
Okay, then fine. Then we're good for the moment. If you'll excuse me, these noodles are congealing.
That's gross.
Jackbird, you get some of the biz cleaned up a little bit here. What does Jackbird have a personal life, have a private life at all? What is Jackbird's about? Is it just about the mud pit? What else is there?
That's a good question. I mean, I think Jackbird has had a few things with some of the fighters, but she tends not to have a very long relationship with any of them. She doesn't want to look like she's playing favorites. So
and so what are you up to? You finally have a chance to catch your breath.
Yeah.
I imagine that Toyota, not Toyota, but another one of your people at the thing, like Camo, let's say, comes over and says, "We got things okay. We should be good for the next few nights on booze. We didn't have as many people last night because people are still a little scared. So we should be good for a few days, boss.
Right. Well, but we're gonna need to get some customers in. I owe Harrow a lot of barter, and what I'm thinking is we need to spread word. Big tournament soon. Bring in all the top fighters, get the crowd buzzing.
We're going to go talk to Gams. He controls the Northern Circuit.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of heading out of town. Just sort of spreading the word that this is going to be this is the place.
It'll take a while to pull people in.
Well, then we better get started. Build up some buzz. Do you know where that igneous fellow hangs out? Have you heard anything about that?
No, he blew in that night and then headed out. And he did say he'd be back.
Yes, see if you can spread the word. I mean, we'd like to see him back in here. He was a good draw. We could do something for him.
Okay, I can do that, boss. Do you want to do something there, or should we kind of cut forward to the evening? What do you think, Jackbird?
Let's cut forward to the.
Yeah. So there are a few more people there that night. It get a little more buzz, gets a little more crowded. You will note that usually you get, the occasional person from Crow's gang in, but they seem to be smarting from whatever happened. They didn't get a good look at people, so they haven't fingered you or Nuzzle or Bleak as part of what went down. But you have the sense that they probably are healing up after that fight. But it gets after dark, people are having a good time. The alcohol is flowing, and you'll see Igneous come in. He is a compact, lean guy, but it moves like a kind of a coiled spring in some ways. And he comes in and heads over and uses the credit that he's got here from his victory to get himself a drink, and then heads over and plants himself to watch the current match.
And yeah, I mean, I'll casually walk up to him and sit beside him. Look at the match. After a little bit, I'll say, "You were
Hey.
pretty impressive the other night."
Oh, I don't know about that. It did got lucky. Got lucky.
You got showmanship. That's what you've got. You've got style. I mean, anybody can wrestle the gator, but you made it exciting.
Well, thanks for saying so.
If you don't mind my asking, you're new to the area?
Relatively, yeah, relatively.
Where you been? Where you been before this?
Here or there, this or that.
Yeah, we got bunch of guys from your hometown, I take it.
I imagine so. Yeah, it's not important where I've been from. Just I'm here now.
Yeah, that's the truth. It's not where you're from that counts. It's where you are in the moment, the people you meet, the folks you know, the folks you know, what you do with your life. And it's like I gesture over to that and have bring over another drink on the house.
Well, that's generous of you. So you think I got a future in the ring, is what you're saying to me?
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to see you make this a regular stop.
Oh yeah, yeah. And he is pretty bad at this, but he's very clearly trying to work it such that you'll ask him to kind of maybe join up. He's clearly been told he needs to infiltrate your gang, and he's doing it, and he's not great at this. Like, the talking stuff is not his strong suit.
So I think I'm going to like catch Nuzzle's eye. Are they in they're in the mud pit?
Nuzzle, do you think you're there? Do you want to be on site?
I'd like to be on site. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you'll see Jackbird sitting with this guy who you are pretty certain is this igneous fellow. And you can see that Jackbird's kind of giving you the high sign, as it were.
Mm.
Yeah, and I'll invite Igneous to come back into my office so we can discuss terms.
Mm.
Yeah, and he'll stand up and come back with you.
And Nuzzle, I assume you're following us into the office.
Yeah. I was assuming that was what the look was for. I would have been, I mean, things would have been awkward anyways, but would have been more awkward to then go, oh, you didn't want me. Okay. But no, this is, yeah, I definitely follow in. No fuss from here.
Bleak, what about you?
Am I there, or am I still?
What do you think? I assume you've done your gig by this point. Do you want to
Okay.
be on scene?
Yeah, sure. I'll be there with a drink.
Yeah, you see this sitch go down.
A hefty eye roll, and I will head back to where they're at.
And yeah, Jackbird, you take Igneous back into your office. He's got his drink there.
And I say, I mean, there's just one little thing we have to clear up before we enter into an arrangement. And I pull out my knife. It's like, see, you're working for Gams, and that I can't abide.
This sounds like Go Aggro.
Okay.
Because you are.
Yeah.
Well, what is it you want them to do? You want them to sit down and shut up? You want them to make a move? What? Okay.
Yeah. Basically, I want to have control of the situation.
Okay. Then let's have you go ahead and roll hard.
14.
Box cars, huh?
Yes.
Oh.
you get a really weird vibe off of him. Like there's something really wrong with his risk assessment, because he sees Nuzzle, he sees this, and you can tell that it does. He's still like, oh yeah, I can still take him. Like he's got something wrong with him. But he sits down, and it's clearly not because he's necessarily afraid. It's that he thinks by doing that, maybe he's going to get the upper hand in this situation, because he's not so sharp. But his reactions are really weird. You're kind of a good at reading people and figuring out what they're like. So you're a little weirded by that. But he does, yeah, you got control of the situation. He does sit down. At the very least, he's in a position that he's going to be a disadvantage when any of you go to shoot or knife him.
So here's the situation, Igneous. You've got a future, but not with Gams. What you're going to do is you're going to tell me what Gams is up to. You're going to tell me what Rolfball is up to, and
see him. That's the point at which you see him go, okay, because you link those two, and people aren't supposed to know that.
And we are going to teach them not to interfere in my business. And once that's taken care of, and once you have thoroughly burned your bridges with those two, because I will be very sure to let them know where my information came from, then we can do business.
Huh. Nope. And he starts to get up, Nuzzle.
I don't know why I'm going this route, but I'm going to go this route. And I think I will just... No, you said he's not that sharp. Oh, man. Okay. I was originally going to try and be seductive, but that's gone so badly. So I'm just going to... I'm going to just kind of whip out my gun, point at him, and I go, honestly, I'd reconsider.
Let's have you roll Go Aggro.
All right. This is my favorite thing. I finally get to actually use this. So with Ice Cold, since I'm going aggro on an NPC, I get to roll with plus cool.
Absolutely.
Yay.
Means you get to mark it too.
I know. I'm excited. I'm also excited because this could still go badly. Nerves. Wow. Snake eyes. I wasn't kidding. That really did go badly.
So when you whip that out, he starts to stand up, and then he is up in a blur. He is faster than a person ought to be. And when he reaches out there, he grabs your gun and he breaks it in his hand.
God damn it. That is a nice gun.
And you're like, you couldn't do that. And he kind of pushes you back to clear you out of the way. Let's see what Bleak's doing and Jackbird.
I want to try and okay, let's everybody just settle down here. Like, come on, I'm sure we can come to some kind of arrangement. You want to make money here. You got a good source of money here. Nuzzle is just doing his job. Nothing personal. So let's talk about this. Let's straighten this all out. And can I read him?
Yeah, let's have you roll sharp. The look on your face, I don't know what you rolled, but the look on your face says to me that it did not go as well as you wanted it to.
It is a 6.
Okay. His arm.
Wait, can I try helping?
Yes, you can.
I want to bump it up at least to a 7.
Roll your HX.
Okay. Oh boy. Okay, my HX with Bleak is a -1. But you know what? Nothing's impossible.
Can't get
Except
worse.
that was a 4. I failed. When you said it can't get worse, I made it worse.
So Bleak, his arm whips out. He grabs you and he slams you into Nuzzle and sends both of you out Jackbird's door, like crashing out. Now you've got armor, Nuzzle, right?
Yep, 2
So
armor.
that'll bounce that harm. And Bleak, you've got armor, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some light armor.
Yeah, and so but you two go out that door.
I'm still
He
more upset
should
about the gun.
not have been able to do that.
Oh, great.
And he kind of hits that table in there, and Jackbird, it looks like he's gonna start to step out of here. What do you want to do? Something wrong with this dude.
Right. Well, I'm gonna try to stab him in the back as he exits.
Okay. Then let's look at that. So let's see how we want to not seizing by force. I think we're in single combat. Does that seem like a fair way to read that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Then let's go ahead and have you roll hard.
That was a 5.
Everything's coming up shitstorm.
You stab him. And it goes into his side. And you see him reach back, pull it out, and jam it into your chest. And I think you're going to take 3 harm. Do you have any armor?
Yeah, I have 1 armor.
Okay, so it'll go down to level 2 harm, so it'll go to 6 o'clock. And he goes to move out of here. The other problem is that there's something going on by the pit right now, like there's some thing, and so like Lamprey and everybody's attention are over on that. They probably don't even hear Nuzzle and Bleak get knocked, out that door. But he's going to march out. Nuzzle. You see, Jackbird has sprouted a knife.
Oh God. Okay. I'm not gonna be able to do much to tend to her myself.
Fair enough.
So, oh God. I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna try reading a person, or read a person or read a situation. Which do you think would apply?
I think go ahead and roll, and let's do it as read a sitch, and maybe if we need to pull questions from read a person, we can do that.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so that is with a +1. That's a 6.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
That's a 6.
Okay. As he sweeps by, he grabs you and flings you into the mud pit. And you can see that there is a gator in there finishing off a guy, even as you slide down into the bottom of it and smack into the side of the gator.
Okay. 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 All right.
Bleak, the guy stops just long enough to pull Nuzzle off of you and fling him into the pit.
I am going to wheel away from him as quickly as possible and check on Jackbird.
Okay.
If we can.
Jackbird, what are you doing? Bleak's rushing over to clearly try and treat you.
I think this guy's clearly more than we expected. I don't think we can stop him from leaving. So I'm just going to go into my MC move and start getting the crowd excited about the situation in the pit.
Nuzzle versus the crocodile. That kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Nuzzle, you'll hear Jackbird's maybe a little bit wavering voice come shouting out about you're the next opponent against the croc. Bleak, I don't think you have to roll, right? With this level of harm, right?
Yeah, it's only a 6. I thought it was worse with the knife sticking out of him, but yeah.
Now it's mostly in the armor in her chest there. So
yeah, hurt.
You could try and heal.
Yeah. I will like Jackbird, settle down. Just let me fix this up real quick. I'm gonna try and use the healing touch.
Okay.
I want to see how that goes. All right.
It has not been
weird.
your best, but let's these things could turn around.
We're due, so
Yeah, absolutely.
I get a 9. So,
look at
yeah.
that. Heal one segment. Just whoop, heals up. And then let me have you open your mind to the world psychic maelstrom.
Okay. Sorry, I got to scroll back to that move. Is it weird again?
Yeah.
All right. Uh, 10.
Then I think that you will get this flash off of this guy, Igneous. He's bleeding, by the way. He's bleeding out on that knife wound. That blood is pouring down. So I mean, he took that hit, but he is making his way out. But you get this flash. You get this flash of people being like strapped down and like put in a room with insects like wasps or something, and the people are being stung, but they're not screaming, and it's like afterwards some kind of like draining or something, and this moment where you see Igneous, like this needle going into his arm with this fluid, just this flash, and all of it is kind of this, you don't hear a scream, but you can kind of feel the screams dragging in the psychic maelstrom behind Igneous. whatever has done this to him, whatever's allowed him to be like this, is horrible. Does that seem like a fair answer?
Yeah. Seems.
So Jackbird, you're getting the crowd excited. They're surprised to see Nuzzle. Nuzzle, you are laying next to an alligator. At this moment, you have an opportunity because the gator is trying to remove the less tasty thing out of its mouth and come at the thing that just bumped it, but it has to spit that guy out first.
How easy is it to get out of the pit by choice?
We established last time that there are ladders and ropes potentially to get out. When Bleak fell down here, it was just a do something under fire to get up out of here.
Okay. I'm getting out of here and I'm going after Igneous.
Sure. So this is do something under fire. We can see what the cost is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's pretty dang clear.
Yeah. Roll with cool.
All right. All right, that's a 9.
Let me think here. I think you're going to be able to get out of here, but it's incredibly ungraceful, and people are going to laugh at you. Or you can stay and fight the gator.
I can't believe I'm gonna fucking do this. I will fight the gator.
All right. I think this is another round of doing something under fire. Let's have you roll.
Okay. There we go. That's an 11.
Tell me how you like get up and you realize you're covered with mud and that sliding up there, people are just going to laugh at you. Tell me how you pin the gator.
So my gun, is broken and, wherever it's lying in Jackbird's office. But my gun is sort of the big hulking weapon that I have. That doesn't mean I'm defenseless. And I think that what happens is I start to go for the ladder and I start to hear the laughter. And that's what makes me decide to stay. It's not just the realization, it's the hearing. And I think with that, I go up 1 or 2 rungs and then literally leap off it, spinning around, drawing my Eskrima sticks, and just basically belly flopping at this point onto the alligator and just slamming it with as much force as I can.
Boom. And I think you will stun it. Like you stun it and then you'll be able to flip it over. You got an 11 plus, so you don't kill Jackbird's alligator.
No.
And you flip it over and you can get the pin and get it held, and there will be cheering from the crowd and the surprise entrance and off the top turnbuckle leap by Nuzzle onto this thing. Let's take our break here. When we come back, we're going to check in with Jackbird.
Great.
Jackbird, things seem to have turned out okay. You lost a door, a table, maybe some cups in that incident, but people seem to dig Nuzzle in the pit, and Nuzzle did no lasting damage to what's the crocodile's name?
I'm not sure we ever gave the crocodile a name.
Okay.
Scar.
Scar. Okay. Oblique
love that
Disney
because
reference.
that means that everyone who comes out of that has battle scars.
Oh. So yeah, the handlers, getting Scar up out of there. They're pulling the guy who got bit bad, mangled, up out of there, checking him, waving Bleak away. When Bleak comes over, they're like, nope, too late. And such. And Jackbird, do you think, had you been subject to Bleak's talent before? Had you experienced that?
I don't think so. I'm not a fighter myself.
Right. So Bleak, what would Jackbird have seen or felt when you use that power?
From his perspective, it would look like Bleak's eyes glow, and he would feel like a real warm sensation where the wound is at. Kind of like laying like a hot heated blanket on for a second, and then
Yeah.
away.
So Jackbird, what are you up to now?
I want to check in with Bleak, and it's like, what the hell was that?
It's nothing. It helps out sometimes when somebody's hurt. That's all.
That's not what I'm talking about. Igneous. What the hell was that?
Oh, Igneous. I have no idea. There's cool. I don't know, like a vision or something. I don't know, but it looked like he was being, like tied down stuff and surgeries and yeah, whatever they did, they jacked him up pretty well.
Yeah, well, they don't seem to have jacked up his smarts any.
Yeah, you can't get everything.
All right. Well, wanted to get some information out of him, but
Yeah, that ain't happening.
yeah, looks like we're gonna have to take the fight to Rolf Balls and Gams. I think it's time to tell Harrow what we know.
What do we know?
We know that Rolf Ball and Gams are working together. That's what we know.
Yeah.
We know they're behind the attack on the caravan, and we need to grab Rolf Ball before Igneous warns him. For that, we need some muscle. So we're talking to Harrow.
Talk to Harrow to get some holders to help us out.
Yeah, you got a better plan?
Unfortunately, no. Aside from, leave town, never return here, let all them kill each other.
Fair enough. Nuzzle, you'll probably come wandering up to the convo at this point.
Yeah. I think I'm just kind of like, I think the only way you can tell that there's like any sort of like rage boiling beneath the surface now is that like I am gripping my escribing stick so tight, and all that I say when I come up is, "Fucker broke my gun."
Looked like a nice gun.
Where is he? I'm killing him.
Left. I guess he's headed for Rolf Balls.
Cool. I'll kill him before he gets there.
Take a shower first. You're a mess.
Well, more mess to get on him.
Whatever. I grab Lamprey and I tell him he's in charge. I'm going to see Harrow.
Okay. Looks around, sees the door off its hinges. What's going on?
Rolf Ball's making his move with Gams.
Rolfball. Okay. All right. So Jackbird, you're heading out to go over to Harrow's by yourself?
Yeah, I mean, unless Bleak wants to come with.
Blake, you're muted.
If you ask, you will.
Sure, so I'll grab Bleak.
Okay. Jackbird, Bleak, you head out here into the night over towards Harrow's. Nuzzle, what are you doing?
I'm tracking. I am figuring out where the fuck Igneous went. And I'm going to take that fucker down if it kills me.
Okay. Let's have you... Let me see what is the appropriate thing here. Let's have you read a sitch.
Sure. All right, that's an 8.
Okay. And what is your question?
What should I be on the lookout for?
I think you don't see Igneous, but you see a couple of Crow's people who clearly been outside, and you think they're trailing Igneous.
Then I'll trail them.
Okay.
I'm not ready exactly to, show my face and go, let's all get along and track as one big whatever you are. But yeah, I'll follow.
So they follow. They've clearly stored their bike somewhere, and they're following, trying to fly casual there, and I think at some point as you kind of get to the outskirts of town, you'll see one of them kind of take a step back as the other one gets grabbed, and you'll hear that delicious neck snap that you know. And the other guy is falling back, and is trying to get essentially away from Igneous at that moment.
Okay.
Do you stay back?
No.
Let this go down?
No. I'm stepping in not on behalf of Crow's man's sake, but just And I'm not in the mud pit, so I don't have to worry about someone going, you shouldn't be doing this. I'm just gonna.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm. Is that what you call conducting business?
And he drops the crow guy. He raises his hands. Does that.
We don't actually have to fight, believe it or not, contrary to all of the rage that I'm feeling right now. Why the hell does your loyalty lie where it does?
Because I can do this now. And he steps up. You see him grab onto the side of this building and start yanking this plank off to rip it to swing at you.
Okay, now I'm running at him.
Okay.
Now,
I'll come back to you in a second.
Yeah.
Jackbird, you and Bleak can make your way across. It's not too late, but Harrow's Dorman's like, is it important, Jackbird, that I should have to wake her up?
Yes.
Come in, sit. Points to a couple of barrels.
No time to sit. Get Harrow out here now. We need to move.
Let's have you. Do you think you're going aggro, or do you think you're just trying to manipulate this guy?
I think I'm trying to manipulate them.
Okay, then let's have you roll with Hot.
5.
He looks at you in that way that says, I'm going to go do this, but not going to do it fast at all. And he does go back.
And I'm quietly seething.
Now, I've found that a little bit of kindness moves things along much more quickly.
And I whack him upside the head.
And it is a while before Harrow comes out. And she looks at you and she says, what is it, Jackbird? Have you brought my money?
Brought your information. The people who have been hitting the town. Rolfball's working with Gams.
You're sure of that?
Yep. One of their agents just corroborated, tore through my place.
All right. She gestures to her assistant. Go ahead and wipe some of the debt from Jackbird. Thank you for the info. And she goes to turn around and head back.
Lend me a little muscle. I think we can grab Rolf Ball before he figures we're onto him.
And she turns around and she looks you dead in the eye and she says, I can't.
I give a nod, and
she says it like real clear, like she doesn't want to say that to you, but she does.
I respect that. Is there anything more you can tell me?
I know that there's a place out about 2 clicks out to the west that Rolf Ball set up like a church out there. He's had that out there for a while. It's weird. And I know that when I sent a couple people out there to take a look, they didn't come back. But I just figured it was, I mean, he's got a bunch of people. I'm not liking him and Gams working together.
But the reasons for not acting, they would not apply to independent operators, would they?
You do what you do. I can't right now.
I understand. It sounds like this is going to have to be a might bit more subtle than what I was thinking.
Nods to you. How are you mixed up in this, Doc?
I knew somebody in the caravan that got attacked. They're important to me, so gotta
He
protect
attacked a
those
caravan.
others. Or a convoy.
Did you see here? Was that Skipper's people?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's weird. They don't care much. I don't know why they would have gone after them. Gasoline, maybe?
Maybe. Or whatever kind of stuff they got Igneous jacked up on.
She nods and she says, I gotta pull my defenses in. Nuzzle. This guy is ripping this thing off from this shed. Clearly has this idea that it's going to be wonderful and exciting to just beat you with this wooden board that he's ripping off of here. What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I'd like to read a person.
Sure. Let's start with Sharp.
Yeah. +1. 7. Oh, it had a 2-3 and then it went to a 3-3 and I went, oh, thank God. So, okay. That's all I needed.
What's your question?
Okay. Oof. Let me just take a deep breath. How could I get your character to switch sides to mine?
I'm going to let you choose a different question because he is hopped up on goop.
Got it.
He is hopped up on whatever they're giving him that makes him a god.
Great.
And you don't have god juice.
Great. Okay.
So I'll let you ask a different question.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So I'm between what does your character intend to do and what does your character wish I'd do. I'm going to go with intend to do because I don't think he has much of a wish for me at this point besides die.
Yeah, he wants to just give you a big smack with this thing, and he doesn't necessarily want to kill you, but he would really like to like throw you on top of a building or dump you in a septic area or something like that. Like that seems to be his level of entertainment, and that clearly hurting people is part of that.
Great. Okay, cool. Yeah, armed with that information, I don't change course at all. So I got to go for the head. So I'll just I just want to swing my sticks at him before he can swing his large,
Absolutely.
very heavy thing at me.
That sounds like a single combat.
Yeah.
Let us have you roll hard.
Okay. I went ahead and bumped my heart up by 1 from my previous experience. So at least it's a flat roll, and I'm not going to be negative. Which is so good because I got a 7.
Okay. So on a 7 to 9, choose one. Do you want to inflict more harm? Or do you want to reduce the harm you're going to take?
Oh, single combat. Oh, okay. Oh man, I'm between. I guess I will go ahead and yeah, I'll suffer. I'll inflict terrible harm.
Okay, so he's going to take 3 harm, right?
Yep.
And you will also take 3 harm.
Okay, which I bumped down to 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, you bring those Screamer sticks up and you hit him, and when you hit with a boken or a stick or something like that, I mean, you're hitting that hard that raises those welts immediately. And when that happens, you'll realize that he's still bleeding out from that knife wound. That hasn't clotted at all on him. And when you hit him, and almost immediately you get this bruising that forms, and from one of the strikes there, and then it bursts. And he is just slick with blood within a few moments. But he's still moving.
Of course he is.
Like he's just on the edge of like his body shutting down, but he is still moving. Now, this is single combat, and I decided that because you guys you have room to move away if you want.
Yeah.
Or you could continue. You're pretty sure if you land another blow, I can take this asshole down.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fight more.
All right. Move in, close in again on him. He's circling, trying to get the blood out of his eyes, swinging this section of wood around.
there any way I can bluff him?
Like a feint?
Yeah. Like make it look like I'm going to go for one move and then strike him in the other.
I think that's a part of your single combat. I mean, I think
Okay.
that's all part of the
That's
your
fine.
skills with that.
Cool. Then, yeah, I'll just roll hard then.
Okay.
Please. That's a 10!
On a 10, you get both. So you'll reduce that harm by 1 and not take any. See, kind of deflects that. What does that shot look like when you finally drop him?
So I think I make it look as if I'm going completely like fully just like for the head again. So that, and just kind of making it seem like I've got the same move going. And then at the last minute, I just do a dive forward and knock his legs out from under him, knowing that the minute his head hits the concrete or floor or whatever is on the ground,
Yeah,
it's just gonna crack.
You hear the crack as you hit those legs. His body falls and just bounces off the hard packed earth. And there's a moment where Jason Voorhees style, he starts to maybe get up, but then there's nothing left in him, and his tank is empty, and he drops.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna say a cool thing or anything. I think I'm just like breathing heavily, and I'll saunter back to the mud pit.
You see this woman is kind of picking up her dead friend and kind of starting to drag her off.
I think without. Oh, this is the crow person.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, she was clearly staying there. You essentially, to her eyes, you got in the way and saved her. Now you're walking off. So she's like, I'm just going to get out of here. Because you are a horror show right now. You are covered in mud and blood.
Great. I think I see her out of the corner of my eye, and I pause, and I say, why were you trailing him?
Crow told us to follow him.
Any idea why?
Something up. Some other people have been around. We caught one guy, but they came in last night and busted into the compound and got him out of there. Crow told us to follow him, but I mean, he snapped her neck like a twig. What kind of guy didn't do that?
A guy who sees the rest of the world as twigs. Get out of here.
And she nods and she starts dragging.
And I just moved back to the mud pit because that other guy at the mud pit's got some explaining to do now.
Bleak, Jackbird, should we put you in contact with Nuzzle, or is there something you two want to do before that?
I mean, I am happy to run across this scene and damn.
Yeah, let's say as Nuzzle is kind of walking this way, you'll see that. Bleak?
We see what's left of Igneous there? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Nuzzle, you stopped him?
Yeah.
Um, I wanna go check out the body and see if I can get any. It might take a little while longer, but see if I can get any kind of clues on like what type of stuff he was pumped up with.
I'll certainly pause my movement while you go check that out.
Sure.
It's like, okay, Nuzzle's alive, so I'm gonna go check out the body before it disappears.
Yeah, let's think of this. I think you have enough skill. I'm not. This isn't necessarily a thing we need to roll for. I think you will check out the body, and you can see that it's a metabolism thing in part, the blood pumping and all of that. But there's just something, whatever this thing is doing some kind of change to the brain chemistry and some kind of physiological change. It's not like anything you've seen before. What is it you want to know? What is it what question do you have here? What would your medical knowledge tell you? And what you've seen the vision before. What do you think?
The main thing I want to know is there if we is there something that would counteract this or be able to block it if we ran into it again?
You think, actually, given how fast the metabolism is working, that actually your chill tabs, the narcostim, things like that, might actually do a number on them. It might not KO them, but you know how if you were to hit somebody with a tranquilizer, it would take a few moments for that to go. I think if you hit them with that, they would immediately metabolize that, and they might not be out for long, but they would probably drop ASAP. Does that seem like a reasonable answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Jackbird, Nuzzle, Bleak, should we cut back to the mud pit then?
Sure.
I'm cool with that.
Okay. What kind of shower system do you think you have set up at the mud pit, Jackbird? Is it outdoor stalls, or do you have an indoor thing, or is it a big tub?
I mean, I think we've got a tank up on the roof where we collect rainwater,
Okay.
and like there's an outdoor shower where basically just pull a lever, and of course we normally keep it padlocked to let people
Nuzzle,
wait.
they give you the key to the shower. It's on a big piece of wood. Do you want to get cleaned there, or do you go back home to get cleaned up?
I'll go back home to get cleaned up.
Oh my God!
Let me finish. I haven't gotten home yet.
Exactly. This you hear it in your mind exactly what that's going to be like when you get home.
I know. Well, I might actually, now hearing that in my head, I'm like, I might shower here. But before I shower, I want to go to the back room because I've got a person to talk to.
And that guy with the braces on the bed, he's still in pain, so he's still recovering.
What the fuck do you know about Igneous?
I know he's fucked up.
Any idea how? Because
Whatever Rothball gave him, I don't know.
okay.
He said Rothball shot him up with some stuff. I assumed it was. I just assumed he was getting him hooked on something. But after that, he was a fucking monster.
His brain doesn't need to listen to his body's signals. He just does things. Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm gonna take a shower here so that I don't get weird ass looks from Snow. I can't believe that I'm actually self-conscious enough not to shower at home. It's my freaking home. Shouldn't have to, but also I don't want him to worry.
Bleak, you see Nuzzle go off and Jackbird getting things settled, and you'll see that Lamprey is over at the door, kind of closing the thing down for the night. He's talking with somebody. You see Lamprey, take get a like a box, like a tin, and he looks at it, and then he turns around and starts coming over towards where you're at.
Okay. I'll
Hey, Bleak.
What's up?
That was one of Harrow's people.
Uh-huh.
He said that they forgot to pay you the rest of the money they owed you for the surgery today.
Okay.
Drops this tin box on the table.
All right. Open it up.
It's about 4 barter worth of jingle in there.
That's pretty nice, but Harrow's gonna want something from me for it.
I asked the dude what it was, and he just said it was the rest of your pay.
All right. I'll take it.
Jackbird, where do we see you after this incident? You get back to your home base, get back to the mud pit. They're wrapping things up for the evening, scraping down the sides, pushing the mud back into the pit, clearing the tables.
Yeah, and I'm checking in with all of the regulars slash security, and making sure that they know that things are getting tense.
And they ask, what's the deal? We know about the attacks a few nights ago. We heard that Crow's people got attacked. What's going on?
And yeah, I mean, I'll let them know that Gams is making their move. They've made some sort of a deal with Rothball, and
Rothball, isn't he just a kind of crackpot messiah?
Yeah, but he's a crackpot messiah who's pretty useful to Gams right now.
So we keep an eye out for any of Rothball's flock. They come around, and any of Gam's people.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Do we start something if they come in? Do we just keep them out? What's the deal, boss? What do we do? How do you want us to play it?
Well, in most Rolf Ball's people, they're just religious nuts. They aren't any good in a fight. So keep an eye on them, but don't start anything. Give me a heads up. Anybody who looks like they might be causing trouble, get me or get them, pray.
Okay. You got it, boss. Let's do Nuzzle going home, and then let's do like checking with Bleak and Jackbird, and then bring people back together again. Does that seem fair?
Sure.
I'm cool with that.
So Nuzzle, you get home.
Yeah.
You are cleaned up. It is late. You can see Snow's asleep in a chair. You told him that you were going out for a job. I mean, this is still the same night that you attacked.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh wow, this has been a long
Oh no,
night.
this is actually the like a day and a half now that I think about it, given the time.
Oh, and I haven't been home. That's even worse.
No,
that's even worse. I'm just gonna. I think I've got like a side table or something, and I just kind of gently bump into it.
You're home.
Yeah.
Kind of stands up, reaches out his hand, goes, "Wow!" Touches the bruises on your cheek. You're gonna tell me you had worse, aren't you?
Probably have, but this is after getting patched up, so I haven't had worse in a while.
What hour is it?
I don't know. It's late.
Want to talk about it?
We got some guy who was important for a reason, and then because of that, we were trying to interrogate some other guy, and that other guy turned out to be insanely and inhumanly powerful. Broke my gun.
Not your blunderbuss.
Yeah. Now it's just a blunder and a bus. But no. And then I knocked him the fuck out.
Well, good.
Like one does. Just. Has it been eventful for you?
No. I did some work, came back, waited for you, and
sorry, I'll be more I don't know.
No. He goes, no. You need to get some rest.
Do you still need to get some rest?
I could do.
All right. Come on then.
And you guys will crash, and it's a little more comfortable and a little bit warmer asleep than you've had in a while.
Yeah. Cool. I'm cool with that.
Bleak, you've got a little bit of jingle here that's in your hands. Got a little bit of time. Where do you, when you actually have money, where do you hang your head? Do you have friends you hang with? What's your life here? I know you're a wanderer, but
I cannot remember a time I've had that much money. Um, the first thing I would grab a round of drinks right where I'm at, right at the mud pit.
Okay.
And then I don't think he has like too many close friends. So probably like if there's like ladies of the evening or the equivalent.
Okay. Essentially, go to whatever organized sex workers
Yeah.
operation here, and the woman at the desk when you come in is like, Bleak, I haven't seen you in a while.
Well, unfortunately, it's been a bit tight for me recently. So I'm hoping it'll be a bit tight for me soon.
I see what you did there. You want a partner and a bed for the night then?
Absolutely.
And she'll say, it's late enough. There's just a handful of people in the waiting room. If you want to go in there and take your pick. Madam No says cash in advance for you.
I'll two barter.
Just one. But yeah, you'll go in there. A couple of women, a couple of men, who've done their shifts and are sitting around till their hours are over, and they're a little surprised when somebody comes in this late an hour. I assume there's one of them that that you've spent the night with before. Who is that?
I want to say there is a lady named Jasmine. Which is, fairly obviously not a real name, but
Right.
What's the matter? And there's a gentleman named Rodney.
And yeah, the people look and they greet you. They know you. As a doctor, you've probably been by here quite a bit on a professional basis as well. And they'll chat with you and kind of try to get a sense of what you want and realize that you have some money. And once they kind of realize that you have some money, they are much more attentive. Tea is brought. There's probably some hard biscuits that they bring out, and eventually we'll get around to your business. And it is. Let me ask you this: Is it you burying yourself in hedonism? Is it just you looking for comfort, or what do you think it is? What is your thing?
I would probably the hedonism thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That you do this, burn through your money. We now know why you're always on the edge of broke, and you do bury yourself in this to not think about all the other stuff that's going on. Jackbird, you kind of get things settled out here, get this place closed down. Do you want to do a scene that evening? Do you want to do a scene the next morning? What would you like?
Yeah, I think I'm sort of quietly asking around, like trying to find somebody who knows anything about this place of Rolf Balls.
I think that's Rita Sitch. Does that seem right?
Yeah, that seems fair.
And we can modify those questions because you're kind of hitting the street shit probably early the next day, talking to people.
Yes, that's an 8.
So what is your biggest question? What is it you really want to know?
I think what I really want to know is there a way to get it to sneak in there?
You will end up talking with Toyota. This is after you've asked around for some people, and at some point, Toyota comes over and says, I understand you asked about Rothball's temple in the desert.
Yeah. That's you. Religious man, Toyota?
Not conventional. Not a conventional man, more of a free thinker.
Yeah. That's my take on you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Were you going to order us something?
Yeah, and I waved the Lamprey over, and Lamprey pours Toyota sort of a short drink.
To your health. So, I might have some information that you might be looking for. No. Let me revise that. I have some information you're looking for. There is no if and or buts about it.
Well, you've got quite a tab here, Toyota, and it could get quite a bit shorter if I like what you have to say.
See, Toyota kind of... How about this? Drinks today and some tab off, and I'll really give you what you want.
It checks out.
So here's the deal. You know that Rolf Ball's been out there for a couple of years now after he sold you this place. He's, had some things inside. He's had the place out there, right?
Uh-huh.
Up until about a year ago, there were a number of worshipers who were not as quite as aesthetes, as restrained in their habits, and I would supply them with recreations. I'd sneak out there, and they would sneak out, because there was a tunnel that led to a shelter that led out to another space. And they would sneak out that way, meet up with me, and I'd hand some things off to them. They'd hand me some things, and then I'd make arrangements. That stopped about a year ago, but my info was that Rothball kind of did a crackdown and there were some changes in things, not that the tunnel got spotted.
And I nod, and I walk over to the bar and I come back with a jug of the good stuff and 2 glasses. And
You are
we have a
always a delight. Oh, a hint of sassafras. If you like, I will draw you a little map on how to get to said door.
And yeah, I acquire some paper.
And Toyota will very carefully go and will draw you a little map. Actually, pretty good little artist, and kind of draws the sort of landscape around and indicates where this door is. It says it's a flat shelter door, probably covered by dust and dirt now, but there's a set of rocks by it that sort of looks like a big chicken. See that, spot it there, and you should be able to clean it off and go in.
Toyota, I am very appreciative of this information, and I'm quite sure that Gams would be very appreciative if you were to let them know that I have this information. So you're going to be staying here a couple of days. That's understood, right?
Well, if for room and board, most certainly.
Oh yes, your room and board will be completely taken care of.
I will be disappointed that I can't sell the info twice, but room and board is a fine exchange. And I prefer that over having my throat slit or something like that, just as a general rule of thumb.
As you know, I am always fair in my business dealings, and as long as I come back with my throat unslit, I see no reason why your throat should not be in a similarly undamaged condition.
I absolutely intact throats all around. I'm very happy with this. Another drink?
Yeah. Clink the glasses.
Let's cut to Jackbird, Nuzzle, Bleak coming back. I assume Nuzzle seems maybe a little more relaxed this day.
Yeah. I think he needed that. He'll never he'll admit it to the people he trusts.
Right.
But other than that, yeah, he's a little more relaxed. I think wherever they're sitting, he's got the 2 pieces of the blunderbuss, and he's just kind of quietly trying to fit them back together.
Yeah, got to go to Weaponsmith.
Yeah, I think that'll be one of the. I'll ask whoever I can. Is there a weaponsmith I already know of?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's definitely weaponsmiths who's had to fix and take care of your thing.
Okay, then yeah. Then
just cost you a barter.
Right.
We'll come back to that in a second. Bleak, what is the afterglow for you? Satisfied, exhausted, hungover?
Hungover mostly, yeah.
So Jackbird, you can definitely see the pattern there.
Jackbird, so I was thinking, if you need people, you got the mud pit. Can't you just round up some fighters and people to do stuff for you?
Fighters want to be paid. week, and you may have noticed that I'm a little tight on barter at the moment.
Shame.
How are you doing on barter, Bleak?
Actually, Harrow just made a very nice payment for some services rendered.
That was very nice.
It was.
Would you be willing to lend me some so I could put this back the way it's supposed to be?
I think I could probably do that. What are we talking now? Like,
I as a player do not know the answer. And I think but I don't know the answer barter wise, but I think what I will say is Nuzzle kind of sighs a little bit and just goes, "What is it you want?"
Well, let's get you set up with whatever you need, and then we'll worry about the cost later.
All right. I'm flexible. Out of character, Nuzzle does not like being in this situation at all.
Delicious.
He'll shake the thing of jingle.
Yeah.
Not quite as bountiful as it was yesterday, but it's
right.
still prodigious.
Oh goodness. Okay.
And we'll assume that you can get your blunderbuss repaired then.
Okay. Cool.
Jackbird, what do you tell them?
Yeah, I tell them I've got a way into Rolfball's compound, and I don't know about them, but this has gotten personal for me. I'm inclined to go and make some trouble.
I think I take the slightest glance at Lamprey before just kind of muttering under my breath. I highly think we should reconsider our options. I got lucky with Igneous. And if there are any others like him, which I'm not a gambler, but I bet my life there are, more than one of those is gonna be shitty. So I'm not saying we don't cause trouble. I'm saying that we cause trouble with the plan. And then we don't tell me about the plan. I'm going to go in and fuck shit up, but I want to make sure everyone survives, whether I fuck shit up or not.
Well, I did find out something from looking at him yesterday. His system's running so fast. If you get him with something, it'll take him down instantly.
Something being
like chill tabs, poison probably would work.
I kept trying to use brute force, but of course that makes sense.
Yeah, he's just gonna keep punching you. You're just gonna make him more angry.
Yeah, trust me. I've seen both sides. I've hit him. He threw me. Well, you remember.
I saw not the act, but the resolution of it.
Really? I couldn't see anything. I was throwing clear across the room. Sorry. I'm just... Look. I'm cool. We gotta take this all down. I'm just saying... We all got reasons to come back, so let's not all fucking die.
So, step one, the plan: get some sort of darts or something with drugs on them to take down these super warriors.
Okay. Yep.
All right.
Hallucinogenics would be amazing with that going on.
Are you suggesting that for them, or are you suggesting you get high? Because
just professional curiosity.
okay, sure thing, Doctor Strange. But yeah, I guess
So-
we'll go. Yeah, sorry.
I think actually is a good place for us to stop. We'll start next time with truncated planning. We'll look at what you want to do. We'll give everybody a chance to do a couple of setups, and we'll follow through on that. Sound reasonable?
Sure.
Let me ask Bleak. Bleak, who knows you better today?
I would say probably. I don't know. Well, Jackbird got my healing effect, so probably Jackbird.
Yeah. Okay. Jackbird, add 1 to your HX with Bleak. Nuzzle, who do you think knows you better?
I'm gonna say Bleak. I think after all is said and done, Bleak patched me up,
Okay.
made sure I didn't get worse.
And then Jackbird, who knows you better?
I will also say Bleak.
Okay. So Bleak, you can reset Jackbird to 1 and mark an XP. And that is where we're going to stop. I hope everybody hit their rolls or get enough for anything for an advance. Anybody?
Oh, I'd had that happen earlier, but I took my
Okay.
advance as a +1 hard, which that's
Yeah,
what saved me.
Yeah, that did save your bacon.
Yeah.
yeah, and I boosted my weird from -1 to 0.
Okay.
I boosted my cool.
Excellent. All right. Well, we will see you all next week, 30th, the night before Halloween. And we will wrap this up. Thank you all very much. Again, thanks for skipping last time. And we'll move forward. I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast.